Right, good afternoon. It's October 5th, and we're starting our monthly Feng Shui Zoom Connect. My name is Ayalita Lito, and I'll be sharing today a short review on upcoming astrology part about a little bit of the chi nodes, current kind of the time of the year that we are in alignment from the Feng Shui perspective, as well as from the astrology perspective. As well, I'll be open to share my latest project and updates on Bhutan. So I'll share my presentation to begin. If I can have either thumbs up or something that allows you, do you see the full screen or you see the presentation? Just thinking how to do the slideshow. Okay. I want to start a presentation, play from start. Okay. Yay. Okay. Got it. All right. Can you see my slides? Can you call? Okay, perfect. All right. Those who don't know, those who are logging in for the first time, this is, that's me, Ayalita Lito, classical Feng Shui practitioner. I've been in the area for the past 20 years. I'm very excited to be, and today we are talking about our Feng Shui Connect, and today's subjects are Chinese astrology. We'll discover the lucky days for the month of October and November. I am going to briefly talk about the Chi node, current Chi node. We are transitioning from the autumn equinox. It started in September 23rd, and we are entering the new Chi node, which is a Kodu. Then I will be providing a very short self-reflection quiz, and then give you the updates from the Bhutan. And if there's a time for announcements and questions, I will be welcome. We're going to be ending this session today at 5:45, 5:55 the latest. As always, we start with some humor. I know this month of October, we are approaching Halloween and other endeavors. And I thought this would be very appropriate to think about when one door closes, another one opens. This is from the real estate, one of the sites. And I thought it was kind of funny to think about Feng Shui and the current time frame. So as we still in the yin metal ox year, that's gonna be going on until the February 1st of the tiger year begins. So we're still in a yin metal ox. Every year for the solar index, that starts on the 4th of the February. So even though the Chinese New Year, we follow the lunar cycle, the solar cycle, always the year pivots or changes between the February 4th and 5th, sometimes the 3rd and the 4th. So speaking about exactly lucky days of the month of October, there is a whole list starting from that you can feel free to either copy or a screenshot or write it down. In October, the exceptional days are the 8th and the 9th and the 21st. I really kind of highlight those days. There's so many optimal things could be done, especially in relation to, when I look at it in relation to moving or groundbreaking or blessing or contract signing. So you have some very kind of important events to come across in October or November, then these are the days. The very highlighted days are exceptionally, I will call juicy with chi and opportunities. The days to avoid. When I mean with days of avoid, it will be more like a yin or withdraw or go within your patterns. October 11th and 23rd, these are the days to avoid. November 4th, 17th, and 29th, I will be very cautious, kind of taking more yin quality aspect of your activities. This was the last presentation in September. As you remember, my technical this is the description of the why do descends, why do Chino, that was before the autumn equinox. So when we're looking at the autumn equinox right now, we think about the aspect equality when the yin and yang qualities are equal during the days are as long as the nights. So there's a lot of things are in the equilibrium of absorbing the energy chi, that there's not really a much of differentiation. So there's also a beautiful time frame to self-reflect and to kind of grasp all the joyous aspect of the summer that is coming to the end, because actually it has already been to the end, and almost like looking at what you have harvested. These particular images, I came back. I was on a 3-day, I would say the self-retreat in Utah, as well as combining with some work as a feng shui work and business. So this is from the amazing, absolutely amazing hike, which in 3 days I experienced twice. One of the hikes I did, it was soaking in a hot springs at night. There was the 5-mile round trip that we hiked into with the sunset, and came out of it in a very in a dark, pitch dark night. And on Sunday, which was, when was it? Day before yesterday, we hiked with the sunrise, and these are the images from the sunrise approaching the hot springs in Utah. So just to give some differentiation of what I wanted to really experience is understand how the impact of the same space at the same environment at a different season, a different time frame is impacting. So what I observe, first of all, I never been there before. I mean, never been to that trail before. And the colors of the autumn, the colors of the fall leaves, it was absolutely outstanding. I think the whole nature was celebrating the beauty of the, I don't know, to maximizing the coloring of the exterior was just was unbelievable. I think this is one of the most beautiful falls I have seen in the last decade at least. We know that the autumn is also is an obvious decline and showing of that summer is over. That is, there's nothing we can change from the aspect of what we have planted. So this Chino that we're going to start on October 8th is really about that we accomplish the harvest. We have stored the things. We are closing the storehouse. Now we're preparing for winter. Okay, so the qualities of the energy of the yin and yang is also very obvious when we see that the mornings probably are way cooler, and especially like when I was hiking on Sunday morning, then you want to have the gloves and you want to have a little scarf because the zestiness of the air it was definitely very crisp, very noticeable. But then within the sunrise, it all faded. It all basically we didn't need on a hike out. We don't need, it was like again back to summer. So that type of differentiation of the inexperience and comparing to the night to that late evening night hike, gave us also opportunity to work with your senses. What I was observing and what was important is how physical environment, how our tactile, how when the eyesight is challenged at night, how more intense is the sensation and feeling. And one kind of funny situation, maybe I can share the personal, was there was like a small kind of cave that within a waterfalls you were able to hide, like a kind of like squeeze your body in, and the hot springs would all go over your body. And during that time, there was a tiny rock, something shifted. And of course, it's like the little like unknown and fear, like almost like a jiggle and emotional, like the afraidness, because there's no way I can look at it, what it is. So the next 2 days later, when I returned to the same small cave, I realized there was the stack of little rocks. And that was as you sit and meditative state during the day and kind of enjoy the water over like a hot springs, you also kind of create these meditative statues with the rocks. And those were the rocks who kind of scared me at night, which I couldn't see. So the overall, what is important during this keynote, and would like to read it to you from the classics about when we transition from autumn equinox and now into the cold dew within a couple days. In the cold dew keynote, autumn inclines toward winter. The door of the storehouse is closed. The harvest has been tallied. It is a time to descending temperatures, especially in the early mornings, that mark the growing strength of the annual yin qi. The morning show dew or frost. If snow falls, it suddenly melts. Young drains downward and in. Quiet becomes silence. As the autumn peaks and descends into winter, natural activity appears to subside. In fact, all activity points towards winter. I have more people coming in. Our healthy bodies continue to crystallize their fluids for winter, and the environmental qi supports the process. Light moisture, yin, in the system, used to guard against the summer heat, now crystallizes and concentrates. This fluid transformation, parallel to the descent of the frost, indicates a slowing of the heart. In this period, we should garner resources, eat heartily, conserve qi, that means you guard the heart, and utilize the qi, strengthening kidneys. During this period, the environment qi is best at 7 p.m. Nigong is practiced inside, where it's warm but not sweating. So when we do exercises during this time frame, again, don't push your bodies of like, in a sense, to start sweating, to like a spread. This is not about, it has to still be in a sense of the pushing, okay? It's be gentle adjustments. But don't sweat. Your behavior in the early mornings and evenings should be ritual or routine. Slow down, and it is easy to stay healthy at this time of the year. It's not yet time to tonify yang. So we're not accelerating, we don't do tonification of the yang. Remember that yang tonics are called dangerous and yin tonics are not. So anything that we do food-wise or making adjustments, or let's say if you're going to, you're taking the herb formulas. So it's not about tonifying with the yang qi. That's going to be going a little bit like, at least for the next couple of weeks, it's going to go against your kind of natural state, natural kind of being in alignment with the season. Applying yang when it's are not needed or in excessive doses can impair your health. So it can be challenging to your health. So these are just a couple notes from my teachers for Ming's notes. And then I will share also the recipe later on within the newsletter. So there is a recipe, great food recipe with a slimmered black-haired pork. Well, those who are meat eaters. and eating like mushrooms or having the squash, anything like we sauteing or steaming or making stew, that we are using the food that we cook for a longer time and not as like fast, like grilling or stir frying, will be really, really good for this particular time frame. Okay, so this is some of the images that I enjoyed just this weekend from Utah. And as I said, the coloring of all the leaves with the sunrise or with the sunset, that's what you see on the upper right corner. That's when I was the very first time got to this location. That's where there was a sunset. And then 2 days later, we got up at 5:55 in the morning, and we're at the site at 7 in the morning when the sun was just about rising. And then the image when I was just entering the hot springs, where everything was like almost like huge mist. I would say it was a bliss. To encourage to this particular reflection quiz, I just came across very recently, and I thought it would be very, very appropriate to share with my community. And I would like you to encourage you to write down these questions, or when you receive the copy of the Zoom reflection, maybe taking the slide, or take a screenshot right now. A reflection quiz, number one would be preparing your, especially maybe you have after the dinner or after when you have the quiet time, or have a contemplative time, maybe in the mornings, truly any time. And try to answer these questions without really over analyzing. Just simply read a question, and what first thought is what comes first intuitively or instinctively, write that down. Take a piece of paper, and you can say the first question was, what makes you feel at home? And think about in a sense of the physically, intellectually, emotionally, and spiritually. What I would like you to really express is connect to your physical body, to your energy body, and to your spiritual body, because that's we all three in one. And whatever those few words you can address, I would love to see, maybe we can discuss on the next time when we meet. The other question is, how do you make yourself feel comfortable, especially when no one is watching? Third is, how do you arrange your surroundings? How you arrange your mind and body? What makes you feel safe and why? What makes you feel free, including being apologetic to yourself, okay? What makes you feel alive? And what do you wish you were doing more of? Okay. Hopefully that could be a great initiation to your next year kind of wish list. Or maybe because this is a time of self-reflection, that I encourage you to fulfill this quiz, and maybe we can discuss. I'll be happy to share mine, maybe within a couple answers, and maybe you can comment or send the comments next time we see in November. I hope I know. I'll keep the questions for later. So this is super exciting. Those who don't know, I have since early of 2020, so that from the beginning of a year of a rat, when we kind of got just about locked down during the COVID time, I have been maintaining a great connection with Bhutan. And my project that I started a year and a half ago to build a school has been brought to fruition. How did it really, why I'm actually connected and why I'm so grateful, I want to share with you. If you see right here, that's my teacher Ming. Oh gosh, I got to go back. Teacher Ming. Lu Ming, that those who receive the astrology readings from me, they know how dear and precious Lu Ming is to me. And this is his last travel to Bhutan when he went on his pilgrimage with Sanjay. Sanjay is the monk right to the very left corner. I did not know about Sanjay much, but I knew a lot about Ming's travel during this time. Sanjay was with Lu Ming during whole pilgrimage trip all the time, almost like 2 months on a daily basis, like traveling with him. And Lu Ming at the time created a really wonderful relationship with Sanjay. And we as a student pool, when we're studying back in at Golden Gate School of Feng Shui, as well as in Oakland at his loft, we would create the offerings and would support the monks in those areas. And especially we built kind of relationship with the Sanjay. He was extraordinary student. He was studying at the Golden Temple at that time in India. And now and then Ming would send some, let's say we would do the praise or do the offerings and would forward it to to whoever was in need. Also, Lu Ming's Chinese astrology, the yearly events that was hosted during the Chinese New Year. This is how the tradition started of making offerings and sending money to those who were in need. When Ming passed in 2015, I personally maintained the relationship, this friendship, this brotherhood, because I don't have siblings, but Sanjay, he became a very trusty and a kind of a brother to me, that we were able to support and share ourselves or our lives, him as a young monk and me as the student, and we both love our teacher Ming. He did go on a 3-year silent retreat, and one of the people who he did connected and we were communicating very in a few times just to support him was me and Sanjay. And a couple years ago, he returned back to Bhutan. He returned back where he was born, where he has his family. And that brought to this beautiful project as well. So this is some of the things when those who maybe, I don't know how many of you travel to Bhutan. I have not been to Bhutan, but one of my dreams is to go there. I learned when he would go places, he would do the prayers, he would do the rituals, he would do the visit monasteries, he would cultivate himself, he would keep practicing, and I would do anything to support him. And with the sense of some of the clients who've been doing the donations, I would usually, that was on your behalf, the money were sent to Bhutan that he would kind of place to support him as well as the community in need. Early 2020, I discovered that he used to go to village in Samsung near Tashigang in Bhutan. These are the very, very rural, remote village that he has to take. It takes like 2 days or almost 3 days by car on a very windy roads that there's no really a direct transportation to it. And there is the monastery, a small, I call these little monks, and that's how the project of little monks started. They basically he was make whatever the donations I was making or supporting Sanjay, he would share or give to these little to this school. Sometimes it was by bringing books, sometimes it's by bringing his teachings, sometimes just by bringing food, whatever they were needed. And that's how our conversation started, is like, what exactly this is. And apparently this is one of his friends amongst are running or was organized. It was like 3 teachers and 18 students between age 6 to 13 are hosted in that let's say like in this village, in the special house. When I learned that they were really concerned about, they basically did, when COVID hit, there was no resources for them to finish the building, to finish the, actually, they were staying in this building half finished at the beginning of December, which the second level was not even built out. There was no windows. I mean, conditions were quite primitive, extraordinary. And this is how I started using the certain percentage of my consulting or clients who were doing some offerings or making, asking for blessings, either for their family members or for their, I mean, quite a few of you know about that. Then personally, by making donation, this is where the money were sent. This is where money were going to distribute it. And just today, I have received a video that the building is finished. The last year and a half, and this has been thousands of dollars collectively, we have finished the building and the school. They have a solid roof. They have a solid, bathrooms. They have a solid places where they can study, when they can live, when they can play. And this build, like, for me, sharing this abundant accomplishment is joyous, and I'm grateful for that. So I know that Michelle just joined, and one of the offerings as well from Michelle is right, went towards this particular school. So this is some of the another images from the Bhutan. And if I have a chance, I will, when I stop sharing, I will share the video from the school. What I would like to invite, the project is not stopping. Since the month of November is like Thanksgiving and making offerings and donations. I'm taking this further. What Sanjay has communicated to me is to support them, especially during the COVID. Everything is locked down and it's quite hard conditions for them. It takes approximately $200 a month to feed 25 people. That's 18 students and 7 of the teachers, and amongst who maintained in the community. And I'm inviting at any point in time, I am committed to do as much as I can on a monthly basis for at least for a year. And anything that you would like to offer towards the little monks on a monthly basis, that I can meet at least a minimum of 200 a month, I will be very grateful. And so just text me privately or message me privately. What I've offered is always going to be added your full name, and the prayers, thousands and thousands of prayers on a daily basis will be recited during that month, whoever is donating. So I'm not used to ask, but I feel that this could be something when we know about what's minimum it takes. And it's, how to say, I love to see the results. It's not just like you're giving this, it goes nowhere, but if there's something you're giving that has a tangible feedback and a tangible kind of, I can't wait myself when there will be opportunity with the next 3 years to go and personally visit little monks and share the project in live. So let me open up to some questions and some answers, if there has been any updates regarding the next. So some announcements. this coming Thursday, which is in 2 days, I'm going to be participating for the first time at the clubhouse talk about feng shui and home and real estate with Darcy Ellman, who is luxury real estate agent in the Bay Area. And I will be add the link in the next as soon as the recording is gets over tomorrow. You might find it on your email if you are registered. That's one. And then the next Feng Shui Connect is going to be on November 11th. Okay. Why November 11th? Because there's another, I'm going to be graduating from my Christian mysticism class, and then also going to be continues. There's a big event for studying the medical qigong, and that's going to be, I'm going to be gone basically and for that week, and that's why I won't be able to do the Zoom call on the 5th. So that's why the November was going to be on November 11th. So again, reminder is going to be sent. That's kind of short. If there's any questions, any comments, anything, so I'm opening to questions, answers right now.
Hi, Lita, I have a question.
Sure.
So I'm just wondering, is there any particular time that's best for like purging or clearing clutter?
Yeah, well, there's any time, definitely was the last week before the new moon. That was huge. And I have to tell you, I did a major purge of that. I was decluttering the garage and like releasing things and sending it to the Salvation Army. I mean, I worked before I went to Utah. I worked nonstop, like long hours, like long hours, and it was the obvious and incredible results. I have to say that the consultations, the new business that came in for the next 2 weeks it's unbelievable. I'm super busy, but I think I correlate whatever time I invested to declutter and to rearrange things, especially think about the West, the area in the West. The West right now is our opportunity and abundance for this month. And to also your bedroom, your closets and bedrooms, we probably is a really good time to switching, since we also probably changing the wardrobe and taking the summer clothes away, putting summer clothes away and bringing the autumn clothes away, bringing it out. This is a perfect time to kind of air it out in a fresh sun, kind of like maybe use a basic rack, like, basic clothing rack, bring the clothes to air it out, and then put it fresh in the clothes. And the one that the summer that you're not going to be using, or fold it away, put it in a zip bags and it's perfect to do that. Also giving I know a lot of community. I know we have women's circle here in Los Gatos, and they're doing the swap, like doing a lot of clothes exchange, and anything that does not get exchanged, it's been set to the Salvation Army or local areas for the donation. So there's a lot of opportunities to do so. So I'm just encouraging you for sure. Purging anytime is great. Okay. But especially like if you are doing the swap right now, it's like releasing and then kind of getting something new is also very appropriate. And it's a new moon. So I wouldn't releasing is good. So however you release, let's say 27 things you release, 1 thing you gain. How about that? Don't buy anything new until you release at least 27.
Okay.
At least 3.
Yeah, sounds good.
Yeah. So any other questions? Any other comments? Anyone? I'm going to start putting you on the spots. How is the feng shui in your homes? Nobody? Lucy. Or who is it? Who is Snout? Is Noud?
Hi.
Hi,
My name is Susanna.
Susanna.
Yes. So this is my first time. I don't know how to talk about these things so well.
No, that's okay. Why you were curious? How did you learn about the Feng Shui Zoom Connect? And maybe you can share something. Do you know about Feng Shui? Have you applied it? Do you use the Feng Shui or astrology?
Well, yeah, I have. I've heard about Feng Shui, astrology, and yeah, I just met somebody online who mentioned your name. That was already at summer or maybe on spring. And
Oh.
then I signed up, but then I often miss this Zoom call. But today I just looked at it like 5 minutes.
Wonderful. So just a reminder, on my website, all the previous Feng Shui Connect are listed and you can view it anytime.
Yeah, okay.
So yeah, there's the presentations and the slideshows and the commentary in the videos. You have access anytime. That's on my website, ialitalito.com. Okay. Yeah. Welcome.
Yeah.
Welcome to the community. So
Yes, thank you. I had a reading, the first reading once, but then that astrologer doesn't do it anymore for this like Chinese.
Yes, I practice the Ziwei Doshu system, and that is based on your year, the month, the day, and the hour of birth. And during the reading, we shared, I shared the natal capacity of your characteristics based on the birth time and a year, as well as the correlation to the 5 elements and yin and yang. Then we look at your life chart. We look at the progression chart for the current year. And we're also looking at what is your capacity or predisposition at birth. And that's not a fortune telling. I know maybe some who have had experience, maybe some of my clients or some people who are in the community right here would like to share what they gained from the experience. Or also there's quite a few on Yelp reviews that I'm very grateful that people do have a comments and give their reflections, how astrology reading have assisted them or guided them. So I don't know, maybe Michelle or somebody who hasn't talked would like to share that I'm not the one. Anyone? No one? Who is that? The number 11927
Hello.
Yes, hello.
It's Michelle. I'm both on the web. I'm driving home from work, so I'm
Oh,
listening as I'm talking. Yeah, so I called in, and then I wanted to get a picture of the questions that you put down, because those are really great. I think being able to address those questions for, not for others, but for yourself, because we're so used to asking other people questions.
Yes.
Yeah, so
that's the idea. To have for the self-reflection is very, very I think there's almost like I want to add it to the questionnaire form, to the next consultation form, just as a self-cultivation or self-reflection form. I think that's definitely gives some insight that you don't have to share, but like you really looking at it, what's instinctively answers those questions from the
right.
physical level, from the spiritual level, from the energetical level. So
yes.
Yeah.
But I can give like just a short synopsis. I've seen Ailita for a few years now in a row. My daughter has, she's come into my home. I feel like she's a part of my family. I actually last year did not actually see you for one-on-one. and I really feel like I missed out. There's so many things I tried to do on my own, and I didn't get the direction from that I normally get. And I feel like, you know, even though I didn't actually sit down with you, I'm wondering how it would have been if I did, because I know the year prior when I sat down with you, I was able to take on that following year with no problem. All the bumps and everything in the road, I was like, that's all right. I knew that was coming, you know, or
Yeah.
I felt like I had a little bit more, I
Insight.
felt like I had a little bit more insight and just a little bit more guidance to be able to say, you know, it's okay. This too shall pass. But
Right.
I will be calling you.
Yeah. So to Michelle's point, and to the others, you know, when sometimes you think about, oh, I done the feng shui 20 years ago, or I'm done the reading, you know, also like, you know, several years ago, we have to understand that we are continuously changing. Our physical environment changes, our spiritual and energetical environment impacts and changes, depends what we read, what we feel, what relationships we create, where we are physically, you know, physically, health-wise, etc. And what I noticed based on our clients' feedback, the yearly progression readings are kind of giving you in a pivot of the guidance. I'm not a fortune teller. I always say I am not a fortune teller, but what the pattern reading in your charts, that based on your natal capacity, the based on your natal chart, and then looking at you where you are in your 10-year decade of your life chart, and then like in a micro, like from macrocosm to microcosm, understanding how the current year influences, you know, is it supportive or is not supportive? As you know, as a joke, I always think about the years like a buffet, you know, and we have these 12 animals, and digestion system for these 12 animals is quite different, right? So what's offered by the year and how we allow to adopt that, it's different. It's actually makes a big difference. And for
Huge difference.
huge difference, right? But what becomes helpful is that you are able to identify and focus on the areas that are supportive. You know, instead of being torn in all 12 directions, you have an opportunity to choose and prioritize, because we know the time of the year, it seems too short. And when we're allowing ourselves to pick and choose, you know, certain, let's say, hey, this year's more about health. No, this year is more about work, or this year is more about relationships, or this year is about more like a life purpose. So that where, I have noticed that the Ziva Doshu chart, like looking at a chart, is really becomes one of the vital points in my client kind of from the experience. So, but yes. So any other questions before we?
One more quick
Sure,
question.
Michelle.
So again, about clearing clutter, I'm just wondering, is it best to just do it now and get it done, or should we wait for the full moon? Like, do you think that matters, new moon versus full
Okay,
moon?
so I think by doing the decluttering and cleaning that area, kind of clean, like, you know, use this month for doing it. Use it. I know it's like a new moon, but I think it's also was like more, you faster you, you know, it's kind of faster you declutter, hopefully it's going to replace itself with not clutter. Do you know what I mean? It's like, because it is a new moon, you want to kind of gain things, but like if you're trying to release, it doesn't mean that you're gaining more clutter. Don't replace stuff with stuff. Kind of keep it that, you know, like having the 1 to 3 purging quality, you know, release 3, maybe keep 1. And also questions like how there's a system that I applied. The system was either you have a tags, take like simple, the tags with the coloring, like a red, yellow, green, blue. And let's say all the red is don't need it, like donate. and you start tagging the items inside of your home, like this is for donate, this is a donate, this is a donate, then something to sell it or donate, then put another color tag, or like green, for example. Okay, when it doesn't sell, give the time frame. If it doesn't sell in 1 week, you donate. So, and then something to discard right away, take the black trash bags, don't even look at it, just put it down there. So as I said, I personally did that. I used the Nextdoor, and it was quite quickly when you have your Nextdoor account, it's like as soon as you post, like a free, I had a table up front, and as soon as I have something, I just took an image and I just did the free, and you know what, by the end of the day, everything was gone. So it's like I didn't even have to go anywhere, there. So that type of and of course the different neighborhoods has a different rules and regulations, or maybe you can drop things off, but I'm just saying that don't complicate, make a system, okay, instantly, something that emotional attachment, and trust the universe that you're going to be always provided. Trust the universe that when you need it the most, you will be provided. When we start thinking, if you haven't touched the box for 2 or 3 years, if you cannot identify and tell me what's in the box that you're storing, that means you don't need it. Okay. And what it makes, it's going to make your energy, when you start freeing up and creating, you don't know what the beautiful opportunities the universe is actually, creating for you, because we have to stop living in a fear and in a sense of like what's not enough. We have abundantly. And also what I learned from my purging personally, there's quite a few things that I was holding and organizing for 10 plus years on a row. And I thought, oh, one day I will need it. Oh, well, I don't want to be wasteful. And what I realized, that created stagnation. And at the end of the day, I released it. And when I released it, I cannot tell you how much happier I was just internally, because I realized by holding back, the item is asking my attention. It takes my time, maybe not because I'm not using, but because I even spending time going back to it and thinking about it. That's the lifetime you cannot gain anywhere. You cannot buy the time. You cannot shop. You cannot trade the time. You can only make time by making a right choice. So simplify, trust the universe, and share your befores and afters, and I will do the same. That sounds good?
Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome. All right, well then I think I can share this short video if it plays all the way. Oh gosh, I wanted to share the video, but stop share. So let me give the closure. Okay, share. Okay, so this is just a 7 seconds from when they were painting and doing things of the house, and then the little monks even working as you were noticing. So that was so I will try to make a kind of little movie by the end of the year, and looking forward to the November meet. And I was gonna say have a wonderful rest of the month. I would say happy Halloween. I will be in a different program. I'm gonna be getting my ordination as a priestess. I think there's no Halloween for me. So thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Bye, thank you.
Bye.
Take care.